Guys, I have recorded a ton of tips and tricks and actual tangible SEO strategies on this YouTube channel, as you can see by this big catalog. The thing is that you can go out and apply all these and not see results. But the reason why I can go out and apply them and my clients can go out and apply them and see results is because I know something most likely you don't. Because if you were a very successful SEO guy, well, most likely you wouldn't be watching these videos. Just be honest with you, right? The reason why you're here is because you want to learn more, right? And that's fine. Now, my point is that if you don't understand what I'm going to explain in this video right here, all these tactics and tricks and tips won't work for you, okay? You have to understand this one thing. And it's boring. I'll tell you, it's very boring. But it is very needed, right? Because the biggest secret in the SEO space, right, has nothing to do with AI, right? AI is a amazing technology, right? But it's become sort of a buzzword, and I'm even at fault of this, right? I do all these weird ass videos like talking about these AIs and GEO, when none of this like matters. It's all SEO, right? And I made a video on that. Regardless, the biggest secret in SEO has nothing to do with AI, right? The biggest thing you need to know, right, is something I've said before in the past, which is search intent. Now, why is this important, right? All SEO is, right? SEO stands, as you know, for search engine optimization, right? Search, right? All this is when people go on a search engine, whether that's Instagram, whether that's YouTube, which YouTube is a search engine, Amazon's a search engine as well, eBay, Etsy, right? Pinterest, I don't know, TikTok, of course, Google, Bing, and all these LLMs or these AI-based search engines, which yes, they're still search engines, they're a bit more conversational, right? But they're still search engines, okay? The only difference between Google, right? Google and ChatGPT is that on Google, right? You go here, you search for something, it gives you the 10 links, okay? You click each one of them, you watch the YouTube video, maybe you read the blog post, maybe you read the Reddit forum comments, right? And then based off of all this, in your brain, you make your decision if you want to buy whatever you want, you're searching for. The difference is that on ChatGPT, right? You give it a prompt, right? It gives you an answer. Then you prompt it again, it gives you another answer, right? And all it's doing all this work you're doing manually for you and concising the information in a little block of text. That's basically the difference. That's why GPT is way more convenient for certain stuff, okay? That's all this is. Regardless, there's still search engines, okay? Now, again, going back to this, why is search intent so important? Well, because search engines, right, all they want to do is give the user the correct information the fastest way possible. So of course, as a simple example, if you go on Google and type in best watches for men or best leashes for dogs, well, a site about cars won't show up, right? A site about cats won't show up either. A site about dog leashes will show up, right? This is super simple, right? It's relevancy, right? Relevancy, in the search, right? Again, the goal of the search engine and the results it shows you, whether that's little blue links or whether that's like a little answer on a ChatGPT like chat, right? They're trying to satisfy your search intent the best they can. So their goal is to satisfy your search intent the best they can. For example, if I want to Google and say, hey, generate an image of how this watch would look on my hand, on my wrist, it can't do that. But if I go on ChatGPT and send him a picture of me like this and say, hey, generate a picture of how Rolex would look on my wrist, it could do it. So right there, GPT is satisfying my search intent. Google is not. Okay, and different search engines satisfy the search intent different ways. On YouTube, goes for videos. For example, if I just type in on YouTube how to tie a tie, well, it shows me the video. But if I do the same thing on Google, right, it will show me that same video because it knows that for that specific keyword, right, how to tie a tie, well, most likely you want to see a video. So why would it show me a link to Reddit or a link to a forum? I'll even give you an example right here, like how to tie a tie. Well, lo and behold, the very first thing is the video, right? It doesn't make sense. Nobody goes, I mean, some people might, right? But most people will go to the video. So the video right here, this asset, right, is here because it satisfies the search intent the best. And little small tip right here, this isn't here by mistake. So you'll notice that for a certain keyword, right, the different ways in which these appear, the different orders, videos first, image last, news first, right, it's based off of this. So you know that if you search for the keyword how to tie a tie, well, images and videos in short form are much more likely to rank. So assets made out of this are much more likely to rank than forums and news and etc. Just a small tip there. So there's that. Now again, hopefully this is making sense. And this ties in with the second thing is that you have to learn which are the keywords you want to rank for, okay? You as a business, you sell a product or a service. And you're going to think, okay, what would be the ideal keywords people would be searching for on any of these search engines that I want to be ranking first for, right? Then you take those keywords and you evaluate, okay, what's the search intent behind these keywords, right? What's behind it? What's the search intent, okay? And then you put these keywords on Google and you see, okay, what type of content is Google ranking for these keywords? Because if I see, right, how to tie, Google's ranking a video, and then this right here, and then images, I know that the type of content I need to produce to best satisfy this search intent according to this search engine is this type of content, okay? If I go on ChatGPT, I'll do the same thing, okay? This is where, like, let me just do another keyword, for example. Let's just do best AI SEO writing software, right? Let's see right here, right? Well, we show up first because, I mean, not really. Hopefully we show up somewhere around here. Regardless, let's just skip the there you go. We rank first for the bunch of videos. Let's skip all this, go here, right? Why are these guys ranking first for this keyword? Why are these guys ranking second? Well, most likely because this is like parasite SEO. Regardless, we just hop on here and we copy this. We firstly analyze and see the content, okay? We see what they're talking about here. Then, I mean, I won't make this video super long. We have to evaluate, okay, what backlinks does this page has? Okay, they have 145 backlinks from 67 referring domains. Looking at the backlinks, right? Are there any links right here that I can replicate? The point being here is that if I want to rank for this keyword and I see Google is valuing and ranking this, and this, my whole goal is to see, okay, why is Google ranking these pages for these keywords, right? And I need to find a pattern. Is it the meta title and meta description, right? Do they all have the same keywords in the meta title, right? Well, AI writing, AI writers, AI content writing. Yeah, so looks like they do. So again, this is obvious, of course, right? This is obvious, excuse me. But the meta title and meta description are optimized, right? They sprinkle in the keywords both in the meta title and meta description for this keyword. So I know that when I'm creating a page, I have to have a somewhat similar meta title and meta description, okay? Now, there's a lot of nuance here, right? Because you could have the most SEO optimized meta description, but if it's not enticing enough to click, well, nobody's going to click it, right? So 15, all of them have numbers, right? 11, right? And I'll give you another example. For example, if I just do Dallas Plumber for let's just go for a local business, right? Where stuff like schema, stuff like this right here, this is done with schema. And by the way, I'll leave a link in the description on how you can create this stuff like this. This is basically a little snippet of code you add to your site. It gives you this. Also gives you like images right here. And all these little stuff, like these little things, right, do add up, right? If I have these guys ranking first and these ranking second, where are your eyes, more drawn towards? Maybe this right here, most likely. So even though these guys rank first, well, the CTR, the click-through rate on these ones could be higher. Like stars, more pixels. And now these guys are doing both one thing wrong, which is too long of a meta title, right? It's too long even because there's the 3 dots right here, right? So it doesn't make sense to have that big of a meta title when Google doesn't even display it fully. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, so again, my point being is that it's ranking. So if we go back here, right, to this right here, first thing we notice, okay, meta title, meta description. Perfect. Okay, now I want to look at the domain. So I just put them into Ahrefs and say, okay, what's the DR of this domain? Now, granted, all these metrics are sort of vanity metrics, okay, because all these can be easily manipulated. It's not necessarily because you have a high DR or high DR that you're going to rank first, not at all, because again, these can all be manipulated, but they're a small indicative of how things work to some extent. But again, the next thing, okay, let me look at the backlinks. What backlinks do these guys have pointing to these pages? And can I replicate some of these? Well, maybe I can. So I'll just open up all this stuff, right? And see, okay, let me see, look at this backlink. roboapply.co, best AI text generator. Can I go into this page? Can I create a link like this? Can I get in touch with these guys, for example, right here, and have them publish a blog post like this? Maybe I can. So I'll just scroll down right here and get in touch with them, right somewhere around here. Email them saying, hey, I noticed you have a link on this page pointing to this site. How much do you charge for you to create a link on your new page pointing to my site? Boom. Here's $100. Do it. Right there you go. That's how you do this stuff, right? And I have videos on this. I have like 1-hour tutorials on how to create backlinks, right? Do all this stuff, like all the nuances, which I'll link in the description. I give you all this stuff for free. I have no course to sell you. My whole goal, and I'll be fully transparent, is that I teach you all that you need to know about SEO. So then you go out and buy my software that helps you automate a bunch of that stuff for you, which I won't talk about right now, but this is my software. Full disclosure, if you buy it, I make money. And I'm 100% biased, but this is the best one out there. Regardless, going back to this, look at what's ranking. Look at the content that's on here. Produce content that's better, right? Have better backlinks. Just outperform them. Just do better. That's how you win, right? As cliche as it sounds, that's how you win at anything. Just make better stuff. And again, tying this back with search intent, right? If you don't like satisfy the search intent the best for a certain keyword, you're never going to rank first. And the way in which you satisfy the search intent is through the meta titles, the meta descriptions, the content that's on the page, the type of content, because it might be like a YouTube video, it might be like a blog post, it might be like a comparison page, you never know, right? For example, I've given this example all the time, but if I go to Thinkific right here, Thinkific is like a platform where you can host online courses on. They have these pages that compare them versus the competition. And they're pretty straightforward, right? Savings, how much they cost, features from each other, right? Just a simple comparison page. And they have like a bunch of these. If I just go to Thinkific/Teachable, they have like the same exact page, but for a different competitor, right? All these are the exact same thing. And I said this before, but now looking at a different search engine, let's just look at GPT, for example. If we go on ChatGPT and ask it, let's just go for, hey, I want to host an online course. What's the best platform for that, right? Again, as you saw, like these engines are conversational. You give it a prompt, gives you an answer. Give it a prompt, gives you an answer until you're so down the funnel that you have your right answer, right? Again, a bunch of stuff, etc. Okay, blah, 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 doesn't really matter. Okay, I want one. Let me just go here again to Thinkific and see some of the features. Let's see. There you go. Okay, Thinkific has unlimited students. Okay, I have a lot of students. I'm looking for a platform that allows me to have multiple students. Now, where do you think this info is going to be taken off of, right? There you go, Teachable, right? Supports unlimited students because it took the info from Reddit. Never mind. Thinkific, right? A powerful platform that supports a large number of views, whatever, but where was this taken out from? Where Thinkific, the homepage, that's fine. Go back here again. Okay, we have these two. Okay, let's just do, how about Thinkific and Kajabi? Which is best, right? You paste this in. And where do you think it's pulling in the information from? Well, from pages like this, from like comparison pages that have a lot of in-depth info on both. So again, there's a lot of sources right here, but I'm sure some of the sources will be, there you go, Thinkific versus Kajabi, this exact page right here. So the only reason why they're showing up is because they've built the info, they've built the asset, in this case, a simple comparison page that has the info that satisfies the search intent for this query on GPT. This is all it is, literally all it is. And again, there's a bunch more nuance to all this stuff, a lot more nuance, but I have like in-depth, hour-long, 2-hour plus long courses on all this stuff, which I'll leave down below in the description. But a simple thing like a comparison page, which you can do, by the way, you can do inside of Arvo right here. You can create these pages from scratch with what we call custom templates. So let me just show real quick how to do it right here. Go to any campaign, article templates. You can create a custom template, right? That anything you can do. You can literally do the exact same thing they're doing right here, right? The exact same thing. Now, granted, this right here, Arvo, is not a magic tool. Anything this does, you can do manually. The thing is that it just saves you a bunch of time, a lot of time. And by the way, there's a bunch of results. I just added these, I think, last week to back it up. All these case studies, 0 to 4K a month, 0 to 10K in 24 hours. This is, you got to watch this one right here. 0 to 400K in 120 days. And this is not just traffic, right? This is traffic that's worth some money. Okay, so all these guys, they've used Arvo's features in different ways. One of my favorite ones is right here. This guy right here grew from 0 to 5,400 a month traffic, just taking a bunch of YouTube videos, and you can watch the case study if you want. He took a bunch of YouTube videos, right? They were recorded in English. He converted them into blog posts. However, blog posts in French. So not only did he convert the medium of consumption from video to written format, but also the language. And you can watch the case study right here, but he's pulling in almost 6K a month in traffic just off of this. Off of a simple feature that's this right here, right? Converting YouTube to videos to blog posts, which is this right here, okay? And you can automate the whole thing. You can have like an automatic blog running on autopilot, like automatically generating and publishing the content for you on autopilot, which is pretty cool. But again, point being is that if you know and the reason behind why how SEO works, which is simply just about satisfying the search intent, right? Producing the right type of content that best satisfies that intent, well, you're going to win. Bar none. You're going to win. You're just going to win. Now, if you want more training on this stuff, well, just watch all the free courses down below. Again, all of it is free. all the info that I know about SEO in my head. I just give it for free, again, in the hopes that you give a go at Arvo, which is my software right here. And since you're here, I want to give you a coupon code, and I want to show you something pretty cool, which is one of my favorites, which is the Site Optimizer. Okay. And again, by the way, all the courses are for free in the description. You can go watch them. You can leave the video right now if you want. But still, if you're here, I'll show you how this works, which is our Site Optimizer, where you just click here on Create Optimizer, add your site, add your language, add how many pages you want it to crawl, whatever, right? Add a bunch more info. And what it does is it takes your site right here. It analyzes a bunch of the pages on your site. In this case, it did 50 right here, 50 pages. And it tells you for all these like boring technical SEO stuff, like page titles, meta descriptions, canonicals, image alt text, internal links, even schema, what your current ones are, what it suggests the change to be, why it suggests such change, and then you can hit apply if you agree, and it will automatically log in onto your site, into your CMS, whether you're using Shopify, WordPress, Wix, Ghost, doesn't matter, logs in, changes it just like that. So that's pretty cool. Stuff like, for example, internal links, right? If you have a site, most likely you have a bunch of pages, right? And having a proper internal linking structure is key, right? You have a bunch of pages, like your home page, your blog page, your service page, your contacts page, a bunch of like product pages, a bunch of service pages, right? They need to be interlinked between each other in a way that makes sense, right? And you got to choose the anchor text as well. The little text you click in, that's like clickable to go to the page. You got to choose that as well. But if you have an old site, that's a pain in the butt. So what this does is it crawls all your site and then finds, okay, I think you should be linking this page to this one using this anchor text, and here's why. It tells you the why, the reasoning behind it. So the AI tells you the why. I included this here in specific because I want to give you an explanation as to why the AI thinks you should be doing something. And if you just hit apply, the AI again will log in, change it, boom, you're done, right? Again, you can do all this manually. It just saves you a ton of time. Image alt text, which I can assure you, if you just try this now, you have a bunch of ones, which we do as well, which we shouldn't, excuse me. Page titles, meta descriptions, does all of it for you automatically, which is pretty cool. So you can give this a go. You can use the coupon, let's just do news, NEWS, and you get 10% off your first month on me. Again, if you want to get all the courses, just click the link down below in the description. And if you want more tangible tips, on SEO, go watch this right here. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.